Capital punishment is a topic with many different views attached to it. Many people do not agree with the death penalty, but on the other hand, there are many people who are strong advocates of the punishment. Think of someone you love, someone you just absolutely adore. This could be a dear friend, your parents, your grandparents, your children even. Anyone who means a lot to you. Now, as harsh as this may sound, imagine them being murdered in cold blood. What would you want the punishment to be for this culprit? As much as we may want to say we would forgive them, we are vengeful in nature, and most all of us in this case would want them to pay the full price. My time with you today will be spent telling you why capital punishment should stay in place based on victims' peace of mind, constitutionality, and deterrence. Capital punishment is just based on the victim's peace of mind. The death penalty gives retribution to the victim and their families. The victim cannot be brought back from this awful crime, and the family can have some retribution with this punishment, as read by and the retribution in support of the death penalty. They can see the criminal pay for their crimes. The most awful crimes you could imagine need to be punished equally. The victims of these crimes no longer have a voice to speak how they felt. The pain the culprit caused cannot go unpunished, and for these crimes, prison just does not cut it. Now that I have shared with you how the death penalty is just based on the victim, I will show you how it is constitutional. People do not get put to death for petty crimes. They just do not. Executions are carried out on criminals that have committed the most heinous of crimes in our country. Many people fail to remember the fact that we do not execute for petty crimes, and the ones that are executed are some of the most dangerous people in America. Gregg versus Georgia affirmed the death penalty does not violate the 8th and 14th Amendment, as read by in Gregg versus Georgia. The 8th and 14th Amendment protect us against cruel and unusual punishments. This case ensured that the death penalty is given to deserving criminals and not just people who rob and steal. The likelihood that this punishment will be given to an innocent person in this day is extremely slim. We have DNA recognition now, so an innocent person cannot be put to death. There must be proof, 100% proof, before an execution is carried out. You can now see how the death penalty is constitutional. Now you will see how it is a deterrent to crime. Capital punishment is an appropriate deterrent. Capital punishment proves to statistically reduce murders. From 1965 to 1982, the murder rates increased as the execution rate decreased. On the other hand, from 1983 to 1996, the murder rate decreased as the execution rate increased, as read in the death penalty deters crime. The threat of death puts the thought into the criminal's mind before they commit a crime. It sends a warning to the murderers that a harsh punishment is to come with the crime of murder, as read in deterrence in support of the death penalty. If we execute a person who has ultimately wronged society and their victims, we save 3 because of it. That is an unbeatable deterrent, and we should strive to save the lives of the innocent and not the lives of the criminals committing the crimes. In conclusion, I hope you have learned something new, some new insight on this very controversial topic. Based on my findings, this punishment is by far the most effective and fit punishment for the most heinous crimes. It gives victims and their families retribution and peace of mind. The death penalty is constitutional by the punishment fitting the crime, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and it is an incredible deterrent to help save innocent lives. Thank you.